One day, the world entered the era of class awakening, where humans awaken professions and fight monsters from otherworldly gates. The protagonist, however, unlocks the rare path of summoning the goddess of death and an undead legion, turning the battlefield into a domain of death. Starting as a scorned outcast, he gradually leads an army of the undead, his growing power drawing the attention of the entire world. In his journey to conquer monsters and uncover the secrets of the awakening world, he steps by step becomes the Lord of Death. What lies ahead on his path? Let us follow this series with Kingdom Manhwa. In the era of universal class awakening, otherworldly dungeons randomly open. Countless humans awaken combat professions, conquering dungeons, fighting exotic beasts, and constantly evolving toward the goal of becoming new humanity. At this moment, a group of people moves up the stairs one by one, everyone's face showing determination. The scene shifts to an ancient building with a modern design. At the same time, Yongkuan swings his hand ruthlessly and shouts in a harsh voice, "Get lost, you trash, a loser kicked out of the Yang family like you actually dreams of turning his life around through." Awakening. Yang Chen's body is seen tumbling backward. Seeing this, Yongkuan quickly steps closer to him. He stomps hard on Yang Chen. "You only deserve to be trash at the bottom for the rest of your life." He gritted his teeth, his body trembling slightly with rage, his eyes wide open as he struggled to keep his voice firm. "Yongkuan, do not get too ahead of yourself. The humiliation the Yang family caused me, one day I will make you all pay 10,000 times over." Yongkuan bursts into loud laughter, his mocking voice echoing through the hall, his eyes looking as if he were watching a ridiculous joke. "Pay with just a piece of trash like you." Yongkuan lightly flicked his foot as if shooing away a worthless insect, his voice cold and cruel. "Keep dreaming that dream in your next life. Stop." Right at this moment, a majestic woman's voice suddenly echoed from the steps of the temple. He startled and whipped around. "High Priestess." The High Priestess stepped forward, her stern gaze sweeping over the rowdy crowd. "Stop. This is the Awakening Temple. You are not allowed to act recklessly." Yongkuan snorted in disdain but still pulled his foot back. "Consider yourself lucky to have kept your life." She leaned down slightly, her voice softening as she looked at Yang Chen. "Are you all right?" He gave a forced smile. "I am fine. I am used to it." In another development, the group has moved into the Awakening Temple. A solemn voice echoed through the vast hall of the temple. The awakening ritual begins. "Everyone, line up properly." Another priest looked at the glowing awakening orb, his voice resonating throughout the hall.
Combat profession awakened, des rangs, soldier.
The priest continued to announce the next result, his voice unable to hide a bit of satisfaction.
Combat profession awakened, ses rangs, mage apprentice.
Yang Chen's eyes were fixed on every movement, as he thought to himself, in these apocalyptic times, a combat profession is the only way. The rarer the profession, the higher the potential. The priest reading the results suddenly raised his voice.
"Yang Kun, awakenedrar berang profession, apprentice hero."
The surrounding crowd immediately burst into a flurry of discussion. So strong, as expected of the eldest young master of the prestigious Yang family. Another person shook their head in admiration, their voice full of awe and envy. "Awakening AB rank on the first try, ordinary people only get D rank. Anyone who gets C rank is already blessed by their ancestors. The Yang family is about to rise even further." Yongkuan turned his head to look at Yang Chen, his eyes filled with contempt as if looking at someone who should not exist. "Yang Chen, a piece of trash like you is only worthy of being a D rank farmer, at best." At that moment, he moved forward with a look of determination, his heart swelling with resolve. "I was expelled from the family and left to fend for myself because they could not find any combat talent before. To take revenge on the Yang family, I must." Immediately after, Yang Chen reached his hand toward the orb, his brows furrowed tightly.
Awaken la combat profession.
The priest suddenly trembled. The awakened profession. The rank is. Seeing this, he was momentarily startled, his eyes wide. Someone in the crowd burst into mocking laughter. He does not even have a profession, truly the trash among trash. A person standing nearby suddenly shivered. What is going on? Does anyone else feel it getting colder? Right at this moment, a gust of cold air rushed straight toward Young Kuan, who instinctively felt a chill down his spine. This is... Streams of black mist were seen aiming directly at Young Kuan one after another. The temple's voice rang out like a judgment from the void, the deep and powerful sound leaving everyone stunned. SSS rank special profession awakened. Dark Summoner. Can summon, Goddess of Death, Anyi.
Consumption. 5,000 stamina plus 1,000 mana.
Name, Yang Chen.
Rank, LV1. Stamina, 172.
Mana, 65.
Speed, 19. Physical defense, 25. Magic defense, 45. Agility, 16. In that moment, Anyi appeared, her cold gaze sweeping across the hall. The group immediately fell into chaos. Suddenly, a man screamed, "What is happening?" Young Kuan wore a look of fury. What? SSS rank profession? How is that possible? Another person gaped in shock, their voice almost trembling. Isn't S rank the highest? A man stepped toward Young Chun, his gaze both shocked and serious as he analyzed his profession.
Yang Chen, congratulations on awakening a hidden profession.
However, by my estimation, the summoning cost for this profession will be extremely terrifying. Young Chun nodded slightly in confirmation. That is right. Using summoning skills requires a massive amount of mana and stamina. He sighed softly, stating his conclusion with a look of regret. Then your actual combat capability is likely only equivalent to C rank, or even D rank. This type of summoning profession needs massive financial backing, something a discarded young master like you cannot afford. Young Kuan immediately burst into mocking laughter, his eyes full of malice as he looked at Young Chun. Awakening a useless SSS rank profession, you really are an SSS rank trash. He stepped into the center of the hall while throwing out a provocation. Why do not the two of us test our strength? Let everyone see just how powerful SSS rank actually is. The High Priestess whispered worriedly with a look of indignation. This is too much. He is clearly using his position to bully others. The man only shook his head slightly, his voice calm. Don't interfere. This is their young family's internal matter. Meanwhile, he nonchalantly moved his heel. Fine, let us test our strength a bit. He gave a faint smile, his eyes flashing with killing intent as he raised his blade. You said it yourself. Young Kuan rushed forward like a gust of wind, his blade swinging with murderous intent. Blades have no eyes. Go to hell. Suddenly, a hand emerged from the ground and tightly grabbed his ankle. Right after, a series of eerie entities surrounded Young Kuan, who was so panicked that his voice trembled. What? Then Young Kuan's body tumbled to the ground, and he kept screaming, Ghosts, there are ghosts. Young Chun stood amidst the swirling darkness, a cold and confident smile curling his lips. Fool. You have no idea how powerful of a talent I have awakened. SSS rank profession talent. Sacrifice exemption. Reduces summoning consumption by 99%. The cost to summon the Goddess of Death, Anyi, is reduced to 50 stamina plus 10 mana. In that moment, he spoke softly, Summon, Goddess of Death, Anyi. Young Kuan took a step back, his eyes filled with horror as he saw the terrifying entity appearing behind Young Chun.
Impossible.
Overcome with rage, he growled and roared, A piece of trash like you, how could you summon this thing? This is absolutely impossible. You are clearly just a piece of garbage with no talent at all. Anyi lightly raised her hand, her eyes as cold as ice looking directly at him as she activated Death Gaze. You talk too much. As soon as she finished speaking, Young Kuan's pupils changed color. Then suddenly, his body lost gravity and he tumbled backward. Before the numerous eyes watching, Young Kuan collapsed to the ground, motionless. The surrounding crowd stared with wide eyes, No one dared believe the scene that had just occurred. One person even stammered in terror. Young Master Yang was actually taken down in an instant. Witnessing that scene, the man turned to criticize Yang Chun. "Insolent, how dare you kill someone in the temple? You truly have no regard for anything." Hearing this, he replied nonchalantly, "It was a fair duel. So what if I killed him?" Seeing this, he whipped around while casting a high-tier divine spell, Solar Flare. The man growled, his eyes full of killing intent as he looked at Yang Chun as if he were a criminal deserving of death. "If Yang Kuan dies here, I have no way to answer to the Yang family. I must act for the heavens and execute you on the spot." At this moment, he gently rotated his arm, and a stream of black mist began to form. At the same time, An Yi swung her hand, and a pillar of light immediately rushed toward him. She tilted her head slightly, her long hair swaying in the dark mist, her cold and deep voice echoing in Yang Chen's ear. "Do I need to kill this man, master?" He shook his head slightly, his calculating gaze sweeping over the man. "It is a bit too early to turn against the awakening temple. Just teach him a lesson first." An Yi bowed her head slightly as if receiving an order, the dark mist around her suddenly surging violently. "Understood, master." A skeleton was seen suddenly attacking him. At the same time, Yang Chen spoke in a low voice, "You said I killed Yang Kuan. That is inaccurate." He spoke in a cold, indifferent tone. He has not stopped breathing yet. The hero profession's passive skill, Survivor. When falling into a near-death state for the first time, it preserves 1 HP. The cooldown time is 1 week. On this side, Yang Kuan painfully crawled up, struggling to scream out venomously, "Yang Chun, you piece of trash, you actually dared to kill me, let me tell you. If you dare touch me, all the elite elders of the Yang family will swear to never forgive you." Hearing this, Yang Chen's gaze did not waver at all. He gently raised his foot toward Yang Kuan's face. Then Yang Chun coldly used his foot to press his head into the ground. "Then bring it on." The cold system voice echoed in his head, "Killed Yang Kuan, received 1,200 experience points. Level reached level 2. A long while later, the father stood still upon seeing Yang Kuan's corpse. He spoke in a voice trembling with resentment, "That trash expelled from the family. He actually dared to kill Yang Kuan." The father roared in anger, his murderous intent overflowing. Truly an unforgivable crime. He took a deep breath, trying to keep his calm. "However, I have spent a large sum of money to invite the high priest of the temple to perform the resurrection spell." The father turned to the high priest beside him. "Please, take action." The old man gave a confident smile. "A small matter." The priest swung his hand toward Yang Kuan, and holy light began to gather. "I can revive anyone who has died within 24 hours. Then suddenly his expression changed, his eyes wide with horror. Yang Chun unexpectedly appeared, looking coldly at the priest. "I knew you would want to revive Yang Kuan." He curled his lips slightly, his smile carrying a hint of danger. "So, I left a little something behind." Saying this, Yang Chun let out a roar that shook the space. "This auto-activated corpse explosion skill is my extra gift to you all." A surge of light was seen rising, covering the entire space. It did not stop there. A sudden explosion erupted, and dust flew wildly through the air. A long while later, the father appeared with a disheveled and dusty body. He screamed in a fit of rage while looking at the chaotic scene before him. "Send out the order. Use 10 million gold coins to put a bounty on that trash's head. I want him found, dead or alive." In another development, the Trial Cave, one of the earliest dungeons to appear. The monsters inside are quite low level, making it the most suitable dungeon for newbies. Inside, a youth decisively swung his hand toward the enemy, and fresh blood splattered out. At this time, a giant monster was standing in the middle of the cave, the elite boss, Minotaur LV-15. It was seen lowering its center of gravity, and the entire space shook violently. Seeing this, Yang Chen said in a disdainful tone, "Monsters in the newbie dungeon are too weak." A young man in the team glanced at him standing in the distance, his eyes full of annoyance. "Damn it, This trash is not helping at all. What is he even doing here? Another person criticized angrily, don't tell me he is planning to leech the drops. Let us just kill him later. Right at this moment, the Minotaur opened its mouth and roared. Suddenly, the system announced, eliminated elite boss Minotaur. The group raised their weapons in excitement. Great, we took it down, we have cleared the dungeon. Right at this moment, circles resembling seals appeared on the ground. The rocks in the cave began to fall. Immediately after, the seals were formed, and someone urgently reported, wait, something is wrong. Hearing this, Yang Chun instinctively turned his head. In the very center, a chimera suddenly appeared, roaring madly. A warrior in the team trembled and backed up a few steps. What is this thing? Another person's eyes widened when they saw the hybrid body, their voice almost screaming in despair. Damn it, it is the legendary hidden boss, the chimera. I heard it only appears with a 1 in 10,000 chance. Yang Chen's cold voice rang out from behind the crowd. Finally, an interesting one has appeared. He moved toward the chimera step by step, his movements incredibly natural. As soon as it saw Yang Chun, it launched an attack. It was a blazing fire. In that moment, the chimera frantically breathed fire as if it wanted to burn the crowd to ashes. In an instant, a man's body turned into red flames. Then it quickly disintegrated into dust. A team member hurriedly ran away, their panicked voice ringing out as they saw the chimera's terrifying aura spreading through the cave. Too strong, everyone. Run, but if we do not deal with it, we can't leave the dungeon, someone added worriedly. On this side, the chimera lunged toward him. Yang Chun slowly stepped forward, his eyes calmly looking at the giant monster as if he were evaluating prey.
This giant, Anye.
The surrounding space suddenly went dark, and dark mist surged like a storm. An Yi appeared from the void, her deep cold voice ringing out like a whisper from the god of death. I have come following your summons, master. An Yi tilted her head slightly, her cold eyes looking at the chimera. A kitty cat, your opponent is me. She lightly raised her hand, and the dark mist immediately exploded like a tide, swallowing the space. Disappear. Before the sudden attack, its body almost froze. A pillar of light was seen rushing forward and piercing through the chimera's body. The system voice rang out clearly, eliminated Lord Chimera. Just then, Yang Chun vaguely sensed something unusual. The reward notification continued to ring. Yang Chen's level increased to LV13. Received legendary item, Chimera Tooth, and rare item, Chimera Fur X3. Unlocked skill, Summon Elemental Orb and Enhancement, Necromancy Empowerment. A team member stood frozen, watching the scene that had just occurred. Isn't this guy trash? How is he so strong? On this side, a portal was formed in the cave. Another person secretly swallowed their saliva and waved their hand as a signal. Why do not we take the chance to slip away? As soon as the words were spoken, the group ran away on their tiptoes one after another. The whole group was just about to turn and leave when a calm but high-pressure voice suddenly rang out behind them, gentlemen. Yang Chen's eyes narrowed slightly as he looked at the group trying to run. Don't be in such a hurry to leave. An Yi stood behind him, her cold gaze sweeping through each person. Master, these people dared to speak disrespectfully to you. She lightly raised her hand, and dark mist began to gather around her fingertips. Should I kill them all? Yang Chun shook his head slightly. That won't be necessary. They have not done anything too bad. One person in the group immediately knelt down, their voice trembling with fear. Please forgive us. We were blind before. She screamed in a trembling voice, thank you for saving our lives. Seeing this, his lips curled slightly. It is just that, if you want to keep your lives. Then Yang Chun cast a sinister gaze toward the woman. Then you must show some sincerity. Hearing this, her body began to tremble uncontrollably. Later, Yang Chun received 67,000 gold coins, Healing Potion X14, and Mana Potion X8. He did not forget to express his gratitude. Thanks for everyone's support. Hearing this, the woman cursed angrily, Damn it, he stripped all our gear. Yongchen looked at his new skill board, Dark Elemental Orb. Consumes 600 stamina and 100 mana. Summons a sphere of dark energy with extreme power. He frowned slightly. The newly unlocked skill also required a massive amount of stamina and mana. Yongchen shrugged slightly, his eyes full of confidence. But with the consumption reduction passive, it is no longer a problem. In another place, where sunlight filled the entire space, the scene focused on a park, with lush green trees. At the trading street, Yongchen excitedly looked around. He quickly moved to the front of a weapon shop. The shop owner gave a welcoming smile when he saw Yongchen walk in. "Welcome to my equipment shop. The prices are very reasonable." Ignoring him, he leisurely walked inside. Yongchen quickly took out a sword. Meanwhile, the shop owner looked him up and down. This kid looks like a complete pauper. Thinking this, he showed a look of contempt. Can't afford it, but still pretending to browse. Yongchen's gaze stopped on an epic tier item, the Staff of the Underworld King. He picked up the piece of gear, his eyes showing interest as he read the text on the information panel. "This looks interesting. How much is it?" The shop owner put on an annoyed expression. "This is my shop's treasure. It is worth 2 million gold coins." Yongchen continued to ask, "This legendary tier material. How much can it be exchanged for?" As soon as the words were spoken, he was startled and asked back what. The shop owner looked in horror at the object before him, his voice trembling. "This is a legendary tier material. It is worth at least 2.5 million gold coins at an auction." Then the shop owner stared at him. "How do you have this thing?" As soon as the question was asked, his expression immediately changed. The shop owner hurriedly bowed his head. "I am so sorry, dear guest. This item of yours far exceeds the value." After saying that, he quickly ran inside. "Please wait a moment. I will go prepare the change for you." The shop owner approached a youth and whispered, "This person looks like the target the Young family is hunting." Saying this, his lips curled into a cold smile. "I will stall him. You go contact the Young family quickly." Yongchen sat on a wooden chair for a long time. He began to get impatient. "Manager, how much longer?" The shop owner forced a strained smile to hide the rising tension in his heart. It is almost done. Please wait a bit longer." Yongchen narrowed his eyes at him, his sharp gaze like a blade passing over the other's face. "Why are you so nervous? Are you intentionally stalling for time?" At that exact moment, a sword tip suddenly rushed straight toward him. Yongchen's gaze stopped before the sword. The shop owner spoke dismissively, "It is too late for you to realize now." The door immediately opened, and a group of knights appeared one after another. He coldly announced, "Yongchen, we are the elites of the Awakening Temple, the 12th Knight Order." The knight stared at him, his eyes flashing with killing intent as he mentioned the mission. "The Young family has hired us to take your life." As soon as the words were spoken, An Yi immediately appeared right behind Yongchen. He spoke in a voice full of sarcasm. "The people of the Awakening Temple are colluding with the Young family, truly birds of a feather." Behind him, An Yi cast a cold gaze at the knights as if they were tiny ants. "Paltry knights dare to be disrespectful to my master." Immediately, the skeletons rushed forward to attack him. The knight's eyes immediately flashed with a look of determination. He immediately lunged forward, his sword emitting a bright light like the sun, his voice echoing with power as he unleashed his ultimate skill, Holy Slash. The skeletons were seen falling to the ground one after another. The knight curled his lips into a confident smile, his eyes full of arrogance as he looked toward Yongchen. "Nothing but hollow, overrated trash. We are specialists in dealing with the undead and demons." After saying that, he suddenly froze, his eyes staring blankly ahead. The knight pointed his sword toward An Yi. "When you killed Yong Kuan, it was thanks to this shadow attribute summon, right? You use an insta-death skill triggered by staring at the enemy." Saying this, he puffed out his chest. "A rank knights like us are all equipped with fine grade items or higher. Rare grade equipment, Heart of Purity. Once equipped, it grants immunity to abnormal statuses like insta-death and poison. The knight smirked disdainfully. Not to mention insta-death immunity. We can even kill LV-60 bosses without a problem. Saying this, he suddenly shouted, this time, even your biggest reliance is useless. Die quietly. Yongchen tilted his head slightly to look at the knight, his eyes as cold as an abyss. The ones who must die are you. Behind him, Anyez's body began to surge with spiritual energy. He burst out laughing, his gaze contemptuous as he looked at him like he was a madman. Stupid, did not I say we are immune to insta-death? At the same time, Yongchen had already activated Death Gaze. The sigil on the knight's armor immediately shattered. Right after, his eyes widened, and he vomited fresh blood. Then the knight's body was thrown backward. His body was seen tumbling to the ground. The knight suddenly trembled, his eyes full of horror as his life force was drained away. No.
Impossible.
I clearly equipped insta-death immunity. Yongchen walked toward him. A bit of cheap rare grade equipment. He leaned down slightly, his voice as cold as ice. And you wanted to use it to resist the gaze of a god. A knight behind him screamed in panic, his voice trembling, "Leader, this is bad." The person beside him looked terrified. The leader was taken down. The trinket had no effect at all. Right at this moment, Yongchen moved toward the group along with an orb. He lightly rotated his wrist, his cold gaze sweeping across the remaining people. Next, there is no need for an Yi to act. I will handle you all by myself. As soon as the words were spoken, Yongchen suddenly threw the orb toward the group. In another development, an entity rushed quickly through the doorway. The crowd rushed forward frantically under the gaze of many onlookers. The man shouted in a harsh voice, "Holy Light Shield." Sensing the critical situation, the knight immediately activated his protective barrier. He gritted his teeth and growled, "Block it, this guy's skills consume a massive amount of mana. His energy bar must be depleted by now." Meanwhile, the eerie entities continued to relentlessly strike at the barrier. The knight tried to calm everyone down. "We just need to hold firm and then counterattack. Kill him while he is exhausted." Yongchen let out a soft chuckle, his voice full of mockery as he heard their plan. Exhausted. He raised his hand as dark energy gathered into countless terrifying orbs. "I have only just begun." Having said that, Yongchen immediately activated his magic. Beams of light were seen violently slamming into the shield. The knight's voice trembled in despair, his eyes filled with fear. "No, this is bad. We can't block it anymore." Realizing the imminent danger, he screamed, "Run, we can't win against this guy." As soon as he finished speaking, a massive explosion erupted. The system screen immediately lit up, party wiped. Killed Priest X6C rank, Assault Swordsman X1B rank. Level increased to LV22. Received skills, Underworld God's Oath, Eye of the Soul, and Necromancy Summon. At the same time, the shopkeeper fell to his knees, his body trembling uncontrollably. Is this guy a monster? He wiped out an entire elite knight order in an instant. Without time to think, the shopkeeper turned to flee. "I have to hide quickly." Yongchen slowly reached out and touched him. "Where do you think you are going, manager? The debt between us has not been settled yet." Hearing this, the shopkeeper hurriedly knelt down. He frantically placed the staff in his hands forward. "Forgive me, honored guest, I was blind. I will give you this underworld god staff for free, just please spare my life." Yongchen took the staff, his eyes brightening slightly as the equipment information panel appeared before him. Underworld god staff. Grade, Epic. Attack plus 125. Mana plus 447. Dark attribute damage plus 50%. All attributes of summoned dark creatures plus 20%. He smirked disdainfully. Not bad, quite a fine piece of equipment. Then Yongchen lightly rotated the staff, his voice slow but heavy with pressure. "Give me one more reason to spare you." The shopkeeper immediately swallowed hard and hurriedly blurted out a secret. Actually, I once researched this staff. It is part of the underworld god set. His voice trembled, but he struggled to clarify every word. This set is lost across different dungeons. It is said that whoever collects the full underworld god set can obtain the true authority of the underworld god. At the last moment, the shopkeeper forced out each syllable, holding life and death in their hands. He immediately prostrated himself, his voice pleading, "I have told you everything I know, can you let me go now?" Seeing the situation was still uncertain, the shopkeeper made an offer, "I won't take your materials either. I will return them all to you exactly as they were." An Yi lightly raised her hand, her eyes suddenly becoming as deep as a dark abyss as her low voice rang out, "River Styx Oath." Instantly, waves began to form. His body swayed uncontrollably as he cried out, "Save me, spare my life." From within the crowd of shadows, a series of hands reached out and grabbed the shopkeeper. Yang Chen's lips curled slightly, his voice calm yet carrying a terrifying pressure. "Manager, do not be so tense. I do not plan on killing you. I just want you to swear an oath before the river Styx, never to reveal the details of the battle between me and those knights." He nodded frantically like a chicken pecking for grain, his voice shaky. I swear I won't say a single word about the details of your battle. If anyone asks, I will say I was hiding and did not see anything at all." Hearing this, An Yi lowered her voice. "River Styx Oath, established." She glared at the shopkeeper. "Traitors shall forever sink to the bottom of the river Styx." With the business finished, Yang Chun spoke softly, "All right, then we part ways here." Seeing this, the shopkeeper glared at him. "Damn it, I really took a huge loss this time." The shopkeeper muttered under his breath, "What river Styx Oath? He must just be trying to scare me." The scene suddenly shifted to the Yang residence. Inside, Wan Xian slammed his hand angrily onto the table. He furrowed his brows, his gaze sharp as a knife. "What?" The second young master of the Yang family, Yang Wan Xian. Wan Xian questioned loudly, "Are you saying the 12th Night Order was wiped out?" He could not help but find it hard to believe. What on earth happened? How did he do it? Weren't those the elites of the Awakening Temple? The subordinate reported quickly, his voice tense. "They were taken down right at the weapon shop. We have brought the man who was there." In the background, the shopkeeper smiled with a forced expression. "Grosh." "Greetings, young master." Wan Xian stepped forward, his eyes as cold as ice as he looked at him. "Tell me in detail how Yang Chun defeated those knights. Give me everything, and I will reward you handsomely." Hearing this, the shopkeeper's eyes immediately lit up, and he replied quickly, "Understood, young master." The shopkeeper began to recount, his voice trembling, "At that time, I saw Yang Chun summon." Suddenly, the river Styx magic circle on his body erupted violently. Witnessing that scene, Wan Xian was momentarily stunned. What? Meanwhile, waves continuously clung to the shopkeeper. Hands were seen tightly gripping his ankles. The shopkeeper wailed in despair as his soul was gradually pulled into the void. "Help, save me." At the last moment, he struggled to reach out his hand. I did not mean to break the oath." The shopkeeper's voice died out after his final scream. "Spare me." On the other side, Yang Chun looked coldly into the void. "One who violates the river Styx oath will have their soul exiled to the bottom of the Styx. It is a self-inflicted doom. They cannot live." Back at Wan Xuan's side, dozens of souls rose from the water. They moved toward him one by one. Seeing this, Wan Xian panicked and glanced behind him. He immediately gripped his bow and arrows tightly. Wan Xian gritted his teeth in fury. Damn it, were all these monsters created by Yang Chun? Then he aimed his bow at the souls. Wan Xian gripped his weapon, his eyes full of despair as he looked at the number of skeletons. The numbers are too many. Right at this moment, the high-tier divine spell, Light of Holy Judgment, was unleashed. As the skeletons shattered, Patricia appeared. She lightly brushed the dust off her clothes and sighed. "How messy. They are just a few undead after all." Patricia spoke leisurely as if explaining something obvious. This is just a temporary gate to the river Styx. Don't overreact. It will automatically close soon. As soon as she finished speaking, the sea water disappeared. Wan Xian let out a long sigh of relief as if he had just escaped a disaster. That scared the life out of me. Then he turned to Patricia. As expected of the saintess, such profound knowledge. About our marriage, have you considered it yet? Seeing this, she coldly brushed off Wan Xuan's hand. Patricia narrowed her eyes slightly, her gaze as cold as frost, her voice lowering with a clear warning. The Awakening Temple may be cooperating with your young family, but do not get too ahead of yourself. Wan Xian clenched his fist slightly, his eyes flashing with resentment. That hybrid previously caused chaos at the Awakening Temple and damaged the temple's reputation. Once I have dealt with him, the temple elders will surely support our union. The scene shifted to a desolate and hot land. Dungeon, Death Desert. Danger level, A. This desert is home to a large number of demonic beasts. It is a high-risk dungeon that few adventurers dare to set foot in. LV-65 Death God Anubis, Lord. Anubis rose from his ancient stone throne, his voice rumbling like thunder across the desert. Who dares disturb my slumber? As soon as he finished speaking, An Yi appeared right before him. A group of minions immediately appeared, surrounding the undead. On the opposite side, Yongchen smirked. As expected of the boss guarding the underworld god equipment. Your strength is indeed formidable. However, the quality of my soldiers is far superior. Skill, necromancy empowerment active, enhancing the summoned dark creatures. The words were barely out when the undead under Anubis and Yongchen's summons clashed in battle. A long while later, the minions were defeated. Anubis looked at his army. My army of death has actually fallen into a disadvantage. Saying this, he roared in anger, but do not get arrogant. Anubis raised his staff high, his voice echoing like the judgment of a god. Lowly mortals, I shall get serious now. Then he growled, Anubis, mortals who dare disturb my sleep shall face the judgment of God, scale of fate. Instantly, Yongchen felt a sharp pain in his chest. His body collapsed to the ground. Anubis stopped before Yongchen and spoke coldly, Now, your heart is in my hand. Anubis looked as the scale tipped heavily to one side. The scale tips. Your sins are incredibly heavy. Finally, he roared as if passing sentence, Die sinner. As soon as he spoke, the heart exploded. Yongchen clutched his chest in pain and screamed, My heart. Seeing this, Anubis smirked. Right after, Yongchen chuckled softly, his eyes full of mockery. Sorry, I was just kidding. Yongchen took a step forward, darkness rising around his body like a crown of death. His cold voice rang out, I am the Lord of Darkness and Death. How could an insta-death attack work on me? Even if you are a god, you are no exception. Hearing this, Anubis could not help but feel a bit flustered. Impossible, he is clearly just a human. He observed the dark aura around Yongchen. How can he have such a powerful dark aura? Could it be that he is? At the same time, Yongchen gave a firm command, An Yi, finish him. She immediately lunged forward. As you command, master. An Yi activated the orb in her hand. Anubis startled, his body trembling slightly. She let out a roar that shook the entire space. Second-rate godling, turn to dust for me. Under the relentless attack, he groaned in pain. Anubis threw his head back, screaming out. His body was seen gradually turning into sand and dust. After the battle, the system light appeared, defeated Anubis, Lord. Received 64,000 experience points. Level increased to 35. Item dropped, Underworld God Necklace Epic. Underworld God Necklace. Grade, Epic. Mana plus 1,250, Intelligence plus 556, Max HP plus 886. Immunity to Bind, Bleed, and Fatigue. Summoned dark creatures receive plus 20% to all stats. For each additional piece of the underworld god set equipped, stats increase by another 10%.
Yang Chen loket satisfied.
So the second piece of the underworld god set is in my hands. Suddenly, a voice echoed, "Wait, O human." Anubis unexpectedly appeared, unable to help but exclaim, "Your strength has far exceeded my imagination." Then Anubis announced, "I have decided to recognize your strength." Hearing this, Yongchen felt a bit confused. "What do you mean by that?" He knelt on one knee in the middle of the desert, his voice solemn. "If you do not mind, I am willing to take you as my master." Received skill, summon death god Anubis. Witnessing this scene, An Yi was momentarily surprised. Yongchen held the stone in his hand in shock. I did not expect such an unintended harvest. He could not help but be overjoyed. Good, that gives me another trump card. Just then, a black hole appeared in the air. Yongchen walked through it while calculating. Next, there are still 3 more pieces of underworld god equipment waiting for me to collect. He hypothesized, if I get them all, I should be strong enough to face the Yang family and the Awakening Temple. Suddenly, 2 arrows aimed straight at him and lunged.
À rank combat skill, Gal explosive arrow.
The next second, a massive explosion occurred. Wan Xian laughed with satisfaction. Got him, this brat surely did not expect us to ambush him right at the dungeon exit. Despite this, Patricia cautioned him, don't get ahead of yourself. We have not confirmed if he is down yet. Just as she said, the smoke cleared, and Yongchen was unharmed, leaving Wan Xian stunned. How is that possible? Yongchen spoke with disdain, young Wan Xian, always shooting from the shadows. Is this the extent of your skill?
Anye radiated killing intent.
Is your young family so eager to surrender your lives to me? Seeing her, the other 2 were terrified. It has appeared. The legendary god-tier summon. Next, Patricia took out an orange stone. Consuming rare grade item, Heavenly Stone X1. We have prepared our own trump card as well. The next second, a circle appeared, summoning the Archangel Cherubim. A powerful surge of energy rose behind her. As the Saintess, I only have 3 heavenly stones. Using one on you now. You should be proud. Patricia introduced him. Cherubim is a high-level archangel, strong enough to rival gods. His combat power far exceeds LV-70 players. Yongchen was curious. Insta-death probably won't work on this guy. Can you handle it? An Yi was ready for battle. It might be a bit troublesome. She took out her weapon with disdain. But he is still no match for me. After that, An Yi quickly charged forward. I will finish you within 3 minutes. Yongchen observed and evaluated, but you probably do not have a second god-tier summon, do you? Wan Xian raised his bow confidently. Patricia, let us finish off this trash together. At this moment, Patricia jumped to approach Yongchen. Suddenly, a black circle appeared beneath his feet. When did you get the delusion that I only had one god-tier summon? He called out happily, manifest, my servant, God Anubis. With those words, he appeared. Summon underworld god, Anubis. Seeing this, Wan Xian could not believe it. No, impossible, how is there another one? He stammered in panic, I have never heard of this before. Wan Xian quickly fired an arrow. Damn it, Dai, I do not believe all his summons are this strong. It flew straight toward Anubis. Unexpectedly, he used a shield to block it. The arrow fell, failing to cause even the slightest injury. Anubis bragged with delight, Master, after being summoned by you, my power has become much stronger than before. Truly, you are the genuine Lord of Death, Yongchen warned him seriously. Stop with the flattery. He gave a firm command, deal with young Wan Xian for me. Anubis knelt on one knee and bowed his head to receive the order. As you command. The next second, he took out a scale and read, Sinner who dares anger my master, accept your judgment. With those words, Wan Xian clutched his chest in discomfort. My heart. Anubis mocked, you have done quite a lot of bullying in your time, have not you? Your sins are far too heavy. He continued to look down on him. One with a dark heart like yours has only one possible end. Anubis's voice was stern and decisive, and that is death. One side of the scale immediately exploded. Wan Xian was stunned and spat out blood. Patricia stood by and watched silently. He fell, unwilling to accept it.
Impossible.
How could I? Wan Xian struggled to finish his sentence. Die at his hands. Yang Chen found it strange. Yang Wan Xian is dead. Why are not you reacting? Patricia did not care much. He was just a weakling. Dead is dead. She summoned her weapon. The battle in the sky should be decided soon. An information panel appeared. LV-59 High Saintess, S-Rank Patricia. She spoke dismissively. That fake god you summoned could never be a match for Lord Cherubim. The next second, a fiery red explosion occurred. Cherubim appeared before An Yi. She evaluated him and remarked, only this much, a bit weaker than I imagined. Seeing this, Yang Chen laughed mockingly. What were you saying just now? Patricia turned red with anger. No, impossible, Lord Cherubim could actually lose. She could not accept reality. He is an archangel of the second tier. Yang Chen continued, now, do you still want to face me? He acted generously. I will give you a chance to surrender. Patricia began to worry, thinking to herself, what kind of monster is this guy exactly? Her whole body trembled incessantly. No. There is no way to defeat him. Thinking it over, Patricia stammered, I will pretend to surrender first and find a way to escape later. I am willing to yield. And Yi seemed to see right through her. Human hearts are hard to read. Why keep her? But Yang Chen stopped her. Don't be in a hurry, An Yi. He created an orb in his hand. The next second, a series of skeletal arms grew from the ground. It is not that I do not trust her, but she still needs to swear an oath. Yang Chen set the condition, now, swear by the river Styx. He bluntly instructed her on what to say, be loyal to me, become my faithful slave, completely become my servant. This made Patricia uncomfortable. Don't go. Too far, I am the saintess of the Awakening Temple, after all. Despite that, she was terrified. If I swear by the Styx, there will be no way back for me. Suddenly, Yang Chen's eyes flashed with a cold sharpness. He emitted a surge of oppressive aura. What is wrong? Not satisfied? Then I can send you down to the Styx right now. It won't be a problem. The staff in Patricia's hand fell to the ground with a thud. She knelt down and pleaded, I understand. Please do not kill me. Patricia bowed her head and swore the oath. I, Patricia, saintess of the Awakening Temple, swear by the river Styx. She repeated Yang Chen's words syllable by syllable. I will become Yang Chen's slave, vowing eternal loyalty to Yang Chen. Right then, Wan Xuan's soul appeared and cursed, Yang Chen, you bastard, she is my fiancée. He cursed unwillingly, you bitch, you should be avenging me.
Yang Chen lauget provocati feli.
Yang Wan Xian, I kept your soul specifically so you could witness this scene with your own eyes. These words left him stunned and horrified. What? Next, the soul was burned amidst shrill screams. Yang Chen declared, now, you have no more value to me. After that, he turned his head and glanced at Patricia.
Yang Chen stepped closer.
Next, how should I handle you? Her face flushed red from her dark thoughts. Training, does he want to do those rough things to me? This made him wonder. Just kidding. You have already sworn by the Styx. Why is your face so red? Patricia quickly turned her face away and denied it. I am not. Seeing this, Yang Chen did not mind and got straight to the point. All right, let us talk business. Why is your Awakening Temple so close to the Yang family? Patricia provided the information. Because of your older brother. The eldest young master of the Yang family, Yang Xian, is about to advance to the third-tier class, Paladin Emperor. If he succeeds, he will become a core figure of the Awakening Church, with a status rivaling a cardinal. Hearing that, he became interested. Interesting. When does Yang Xian plan to advance? This question made her freeze for a few seconds. The scene shifts to another protected location. This is the Awakening Church, Western Branch. The priest announces, "Today is a day of great joy for our Awakening Temple." He praises incessantly, "This genius eldest young master of the Yang family will awaken as a holy paladin emperor today." He smiles proudly. Eldest young master of the Yang family, Yang Xian, level 60, AA rank class, Palladia holy priest. Hearing this, the people below chatter excitedly, "Holy paladin emperor, that is a legendary class, nearly invincible among those of the same level. If he succeeds, the global situation will change." These words made Yang Xian's expression turn grim. Suddenly, the president of the Seven-Star Chamber of Commerce, Bai Lian, asks, "Conducting the awakening so flamboyantly, are not you afraid someone will come to crash the party?" She wears a cunning smile. "As far as I know, the Yang family has made quite a few enemies. Recently, an internal wanted criminal has even appeared." Seeing this, Yang Xian retorts sarcastically, "President Bai Lian worries too much. In this Western Branch, every single brick has been enchanted with high-tier divine arts." The priest chimes in, "No one would dare come here to throw their life away." Just as he spoke, something struck the exterior. The entire interior space suddenly shook violently. People cried out in panic, "My body feels as if it is frozen stiff." Bai Lian looked up. "What is this? What is with this bone-chilling cold?" At that moment, a hazy black smoke appeared. The priest realized with a start, this is undead death energy, impossible. Could it be that wanted man? The next second, familiar footsteps gradually became clear within the smoke. Yang Chun strode out aggressively. "Yang Xian, today is an auspicious day for your awakening. Your little brother has come in person." His voice carried a deep meaning. "To congratulate you." Seeing Yang Chun appear, both the master and Yang Xian gaped in shock. Their eyes turned to Patricia, who was following behind. The old man demanded in a harsh voice, "What have you done to Saintess Patricia?"
Feins popet on Yang Xuan's forehead.
He clenched his fists and cursed, "You bastard." Seeing this, Yang Chun provoked him further. "The Saintess, now she is my pet. Isn't that right?" Patricia obediently confirmed, "Yes. That is right, master." Once again, everyone in the room froze in shock. Bai Lian raised her wine glass mockingly. "So he is the Yang family traitor who has been causing such a stir." The crowd buzzed. "This kid dares to treat the Awakening Temple Saintess like that. He really does not value his life. This is no different from slapping the temple in the face in front of the whole world." At this point, a series of quick footsteps entered. A group of guards entered and declared, "Divine power, let us charge together and kill this brat. These lowly undead are not worth." The undead's eyes suddenly flashed with killing intent. The next second, the leader was wiped out in a single move. This enraged Yang Xian. "He dares come here to sabotage me, let me go and kill him." The priest stopped him. "No, your awakening is the most important thing. I will hold him off." Yang Chun declared grandly, "Listen up everyone, I am only targeting Yang Xian and the Awakening Temple." He cautioned them, "The rest of you, stay back and watch quietly. I won't harm the innocent." Seeing this, the old man was indignant. "I am not some brain-dead villain. If you captured the Saintess, your strength must be above mine. LV 56A rank class, High Priest." Blinding light emitted from his staff. "I only need to sacrifice this old life of mine to stall you, divine art." The majestic seal was unleashed, trapping Yang Chun in another dimension. This scene surprised him slightly. From the outside, it looked like a glowing box. People discussed amongst themselves, "I have heard of the majestic seal. It was once used to trap god-tier bosses, making them unable to move. To think they would use it on this brat, he can die without regrets." The priest puffed out his chest proudly. This is a god-tier seal closely linked to my life force, further empowered by hundreds of high-tier divine arts from the entire temple. His expression turned delighted. Now, breaking it is as difficult as crushing a whole continent. However, no sooner had he finished speaking than it exploded. Yongchen stepped out unharmed. Along with him, the priest suffered a backlash, so severe he spat blood. How is this possible? He stepped closer and mocked him. What were you saying just now, stalling me? Yongchen picked at his ear and laughed disdainfully. Sorry, I could not quite hear you. The priest's eyes were full of terror as he looked at him. A second later, a pillar of light appeared behind Yongchen. The smoke cleared to reveal Yongxian, who had successfully awakened as an SS rank class, Holy Paladin Emperor. He swung one hand forward. The next second, white wings appeared. It seemed Yongxian had reached godhood, SS rank Holy Paladin Emperor, level 60. His expression was incredibly calm. Everyone, including Bai Lian, stared wide-eyed in disbelief.
Yang Xuan.
He actually succeeded. Is he truly favored by the heavens as the rumors say? She questioned her own perception of reality. High-level class changes are complex. With such a rushed awakening, the success rate should not even be 1%. Yongxian's hand slowly gripped the hilt of his sword. He strode forward majestically. Now, the two sides faced off intensely before the spectators.
Yang Chen clapped nonchalantly in praise.
His voice was provocative. Congratulations. You actually managed to succeed. However, Yongxian did not answer but walked right past him. He approached the priest apologetically. Forgive me, master. I was one step too late. The old man tried to reassure him, it is fine. My old life is still intact. Then he glanced over and ordered, deal with him first. On this side, Yongchen also commanded the undead to charge. Let us see who deals with whom. But with just a few sword strokes, Yongxian wiped them all out. He thought with disdain, lowly undead are not qualified to fight me. A rank skill, sovereign domain. This made Yongchen pause slightly as it was unexpected. The onlookers praised him incessantly, as expected of the Holy Paladin Emperor. That uncomfortable feeling from earlier is gone. Bathed in his light, I feel my whole body overflowing with power. Yongxian pointed his sword straight at him and ordered, call out your god-tier summon. He spoke provocatively, only then will this be a fair fight. Yongchen could only sigh. You brought this on yourself. He waved his hand as a signal. Come forth, Anyi. The next second, the beautiful Anyi appeared with an intrigued smile. Yongxian activated his status, Divine Protection. Immune to all abnormal statuses. Then he boasted, against me, all tricks are meaningless. Only raw strength remains. In an instant, a mouthful of blood was spat out. He struggled to brace himself by leaning on his sword against the ground. Anyi gave a mocking, disdainful smile. All that posturing for so long, and it turns out you do not even have god-tier insta-death immunity. Yongchen also struck. And you dared to ignore me, you think you are the protagonist or something.